The black conservative backlash to African spirituality is so disturbing.
Okay, y'all. I wanted to touch on this real quick because it is disturbing how you would demonize like other practices because you figure like your practice is solidified. Okay, there are valid reasons why people practice the things that they practice, right? And a lot of those reasons in this particular practice is because it has been indoctrinated. Okay, now for me personally, I don't say that I practice African spirituality, but my spirituality practice is more of a um it's more of a intuitive connection that I have to the creator. So I can't tell you that I'm sitting there following another practice of spirituality, right? Because there are different forms of spirituality that you can practice, right? So I wanted to say, like, can we please stop putting people who are practicing spirituality in hell already? Because the reason why, now mind you, I never really went to church. I read the Bible a couple of times, but it was just something that was in me every time I stepped foot in the church. It did not go right. Like it just wasn't. I didn't feel. I didn't feel God in the church, right? Like it was just. It could have been the pastor or whatever it was, but it was just something that it always leaves me questioning. And when I got older as an adult, I started researching religion and different religions. And then once I understood that even though there were Africans who did practice Christianity before Europeans had a hold to it, but just the thought of the African American or the black or whatever you want to call the indigenous people to Americas, okay, before we were captured into slavery, they threw that book at us. So how my mind works, my mind isn't telling me that whoever put me in captivity is concerned about my soul. Like how my mind works, my mind ain't thinking, oh, well, they did give me this book. They want me to go to heaven, even though they putting me through hell right now. Those two things never coincided inside my mind. So when I start thinking about my ancestors and my ancestors who did adhere to that particular religion, I start questioning a lot of things. Like, if I became your captor, if I became the person who captured you, would you trust me to lead you into salvation? Will you trust me to give you the key to the kingdom? You wouldn't. Like, I will be, you would not, you would, whatever I gave to you, you will probably starve. Like, if I gave you some food, you probably would starve because you figure like, well, shit, you already destroyed my family. You destroyed my husband, my wife, and my kids, and you did all these things to me where we know what slavery encountered. You did all these things to me, but you concerned about my soul? No, this is a personal vendetta. This is a personal agenda that you want me trapped into this religious constraints so I can be more docile for you to keep me captive. It's almost like a Stockholm, excuse me, y'all know I get tongue tied. It's almost like that syndrome where the kidnappers fall, the people who are kidnapped fall in love with their kidnappers. Okay? You have to understand, like, there are people who can decode the Bible and actually know who God is within that Bible. But I'm here to tell y'all, the things that they tell you not to question is for a reason. The reason why they say, oh, you taken out of context It's for a reason. It's to keep you delusional. It's to keep you out of touch. It's to keep you dependent on something that you are hoping that they will give to you. But when you understand salvation is through you, you can save yourself. You don't have to know a book. You have to be in tune with the God within you. You have to be in tune intuitively with the God that you serve. God don't know nothing about religion. I questioned that as a child. I couldn't understand that for the life of me. I asked my mama, because we passing by all these churches and I hear people talking about religion, and in LA it was, you was either Baptist or Muslim, or I couldn't understand for the life of me. I just couldn't. And I asked Mom, I said, Mom, like, why is it so many religions and there's only one God? I'm confused. Like, what's going on? And she kind of looked at me like, what? Because it never makes sense to me. It never makes sense. Now, some people can use those tools of religion to get to their higher self and get connected to their God intuitively. But I believe a lot of people, a lot of collective, a lot of majority who do adhere to religion, they holding on to it because they believe the longer they hold on to it, the longer they holding on to God. The longer they hold on to it, the longer they hold on to salvation. The longer they hold on to it, they know they hold on to heaven. But once you understand your salvation, your heaven will come from your connection with God and how you serve God within your connection. It's not about how you serve a religion. It's not about how much, because there are people who can decode the Bible and use it the right way. But if you're still on it where you reading out of context, it is what it is, y'all. Words are words for a reason. Frequency is frequency for a reason. Energy is energy for a reason. So I can't tell you. So if I told you, you know what? I know you told me that it's cold outside, but when I go outside, I don't feel any heat. So how is it cold? And then you tell me, oh, you took what I said out of context. I just meant that it was cold because, in the morning time, the morning dew. Like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about as of right now. As of today. And that's how a lot of people use the Bible to get you confused. So if you're in a state where you don't want to think for yourself, if you're in a state you just take whatever somebody give to you, if you're in a state where you have no critical thinking skills, if you're in a state when whoever tells you some information, you take heed to it like it's truth, like it's fact, and you don't want to look because they told you not to look, and you're going to believe what they said because they said, you are letting the wrong people lead you. Because I don't care who teaches you. I don't care where you get information from. You know your teacher is valid when your teacher tells you, don't just go by what I say. You do your research. You go see some truth. You go to different venues. You go to different outlets and see what the fuck I said was true. You go and research that yourself. Anytime you find somebody say no, don't research nothing. It is what the fuck it is, because I said so, because it's right here. You need to believe what the fuck I say. You need to watch out for them people. Whoever it is. And whatever structure, religion, life-wise, you need to be careful at the people at all costs. The people not here to educate you. The people not here to enlighten you. Those people are not here to give you a piece of heaven and salvation. Those people are here to keep you captive. Like the way they used it before. For their purposes. For their agenda. For their desires. For you to keep on hoping and wishing that you're going to get something out of this while they feeding off of you. While their desires getting met by you. While your energy feeding them. Be careful, y'all. Be careful.